Hey, just Mark here. So, I don't know if it's the vacation vibes or if it's just the fact that I'm finally decompressing a little bit, but in my head, I've thought multiple times about potentially leaving my job without a backup plan. And I kind of want to talk about that a little bit because it's a scary thought. I do like my job, but I also know that there's a lot of other things that I want to do. And I don't mean go and travel the world or anything like big like that, but I want to find other passions, look at other opportunities. Because as much as I like my job, and maybe you're thinking about this too, you might like your job but be unsure of what you're doing. As much as I like it, I don't feel very fulfilled doing what I'm doing. Let me explain. I have worked in call centers off and on for well over 20 years. And they're steady jobs, they're stable jobs. If you are meeting your stats and doing the job correctly and that kind of stuff. The hard part is I always thought when I was younger that I would be making a difference in this world. I remember when I was a teenager, I wanted to be a youth pastor. When I got older and through high school, I thought about going into physiotherapy. However, my grades weren't exactly good enough because I wasn't exactly an academic, to say the least. And as I'm getting older and closer to 50, I think about the impact I'm having on the world and about fulfillment and what I need to do to feel fulfilled. And outside of work, I am fulfilled in many ways. I have a happy life, a peaceful life, and I'm not chasing materialistic things. I think I'm at a point now where as much as I want certain things in my life, I know a part of gaining my peace is going to be reviewing what I'm doing for the next few years. You know, people get to a certain age and they start rethinking about a lot of things and where they're going. And maybe it's a bit of a midlife crisis. I don't know. But I wonder, and if any of you have done this, please comment down below if it's worth the risk to leave a steady, stable, decently paying job to look at pursuing other interests. You know, maybe it's finding a different job where I feel more fulfilled. Maybe it's having the time to keep working on my creative endeavors. Now, I'm not quitting for YouTube because obviously I'm not making any money on it and I don't ever plan to. I don't think I'm going to. Well, I shouldn't say that, but maybe I will. And it doesn't mean you're going to become like a millionaire overnight or you're going to make a ton of money. But I just know that I feel like I need to do something that makes a difference in this world. And I think the way to do that is to free up time. I even contemplated going part-time at the job I have. Another challenge to leaving my job without a backup plan is I do need the health benefits. Now up here in Canada, I can see a doctor and I don't have to worry about insurance or anything like that. But I have expensive medications that I take for my heart, you know, and I need those refilled every 3 months. And I don't have or make enough money outside of that to cover those yet. So what's my plan? What are my thoughts? Well, let's think about it from this perspective. I think it's important for everyone, no matter how old you are, to save enough money to have what I call an FU account. And that means you can quit on a whim without a backup plan, which would be freeing. Because then when you're at a point where you want to try something new, or maybe you don't like your job and you want to say, screw it, I'm out of here, tell your boss where to go, how to get there kind of thing, it allows you that freedom to just quit. And I keep thinking, what number would I have to save in liquid cash to have that FU money? Because I don't think you should quit without at least some kind of financial backing of some sorts. Because if you do, then you're going to cause yourself unnecessary stress. So my thought is that I need to work towards saving I would say at least $100,000, because that would make me feel comfortable to take a year or two off working. I'm already working towards that, just as an FYI. You know, I put away a certain amount of money every paycheck that automatically comes off so that I can absolutely get to this stage. And I'm probably about 2 or 3 years away from that. My goal really is to do that by the time I'm 50. Because if I can get free by 50, maybe that's what I should title this channel, Free by 50, then I'm doing the right thing. Because after 50, who knows what's going to happen to my life or anyone's life? You know, think about people you know who, well, even myself, who've had health issues. You know, as we get older, we think about retirement as this glorious thing, but how many people get to that age and get sick, or even not sick, but their health is not as good as it once was, and the mobility and things like that. And then they don't have the freedom to do whatever it is they want to do with that in retirement. I think quitting without a plan is frightening, but I think it's necessary, and I think it's something you plan for. I do know people who, I think one person who has quit their job and started working on side projects, and they've been able to replace their income, but the difference is they're actually enjoying what they do wholeheartedly. And they can choose which, 8 to 10 hours a day they want to work, or if they only want to work part-time. Work is not everything in life. And we all work, obviously, for the common goal of becoming free and retiring and that kind of stuff. But it's not the be-all and end-all. It doesn't define you. My work definitely doesn't define me. I'm not openly proud when people ask me, what do you do for a living? And I say, I work in a call center. Oh, so what do you do in that call center? And then maybe they're thinking at my age, management or leadership. When the reality is, I'm just a frontline customer service representative dealing with people and their billing issues. That's what I do. It's not exciting. It's boring. Kind of fits my life a little bit because I don't want a job where I work my 8 hours and then I'm on call at night or having to deal with issues later on. I did that in the past, and it was absolutely nerve-wracking and stressful. Now, while working in these call centers, I have had a wide variety of roles, but in the current place I work, I've been essentially at the same role with a little variety for almost 8 years. Well, 7.5 years at this point. And having this time off right now to go see family is a constant reminder of what it'd be like to just be able to just go. I had to plan this in advance. If I did something on my own, I would be able to just up and go and do what I want, when I want, and not have to worry about asking for vacation time. Or for any of you who've worked in a call center, you know as well as I do that you don't just get to ask for the time off. You have to book it in advance. Like I started booking my vacation, I think in October of last year, so in 2024, just for this year, and I had to plan it out with a couple of varieties. So I took my 3 weeks here in the summer so I could go initially to Europe, but I made a choice to come and see family instead because I felt for this point, it's more important to see my family than it was to go to Europe. I could do Europe next year. And I did take a trip to Puerto Vallarta, obviously, about a month ago. And that was nice. But this time here with my family has been great. Hanging out with my sister, my dad, watching him start his retired life. The guy's got to keep himself busy, but he's enjoying his freedom to do what he wants when he wants. And I don't want to wait to 65 to have that freedom or retire. And that's 18 years from now. Sometimes I wonder if I'm even going to live to 65. I've got congenital heart disease. It is what it is. I will eventually need another heart surgery in my life. And that's a bit of a scary thought sometimes, and I really feel like I've been a bit of a failure when it comes to making a difference in this world. Now, I've volunteered and I've done different things along the way, but since I haven't been doing that the last few years, because I haven't been volunteering, I haven't done some of the things I did in the past, I feel like I've kind of neglected that part of my life. And that's an important part of my life, or it was. So my question for you, for anybody who's watching this, and if you've watched this far, would you leave your job with no backup plan to pursue your dreams or other interests? I know there's a YouTuber out there, Laura Try, who quit her job and I think she had 800 subscribers on her YouTube channel. And man, it took off for her. You know, she had her ups and downs, but she's made that a living. And I love her videos, so go check her out. I'll leave a link for her channel down below. Anyways, just my thoughts on today, because I have been contemplating life a lot more and what I want to do and where I want to be and who I want to be. And it's not easy to make those choices. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.